Today we are using up some of this zucchini that I have. I made zucchini relish with a lot of it. And today I am using a recipe that my mom used to do where she will roast zucchini with garlic and onions in the oven and with oil, salt, and pepper. And then she blends it up with either chicken or veggie stock and freezes it like that. And then in the wintertime, you heat it up and you can add cream, or if you are non-dairy, you can add a non-dairy thing or sour cream, whatever it is that you want to use. You can usually add some sort of cream base to it and it makes a really amazing soup. So that is what we're doing with the zucchini today. And I'm just quartering them and roughly chopping them about this big and throwing them on the sheet pan. And then I'll bake them for 25 to 30 minutes until they're done. And then we will blend them all up and have some soup base for the winter time. I had to buy onions in bulk because unfortunately my onions were a complete and total fail this year. I think my soil was wrong. I also bought like the little onion bulbs, so my onions stayed small and they all just mushed. The plants died, so I pulled them all up, set them out to cure, and they just started getting all soft and mushy and moldy. So I'm not sure what went wrong with them. I need to do more research. I will take any advice and suggestions. I have heard that if you do onion plants instead of just the little bulbs, you get bigger onions. So I know next year I'm going to try that. I'm also going to put them into one of our raised beds versus the ground. Our soil here is not great as far as just for the ground, and it doesn't drain well and it's very sticky. There's a lot of clay. So I think part of that was part of the problem. So next year I'm definitely going to put them into a raised bed. I also read that they can help deter some of the, and I never say this right, but it's a squash borer moth. It's a larva from a moth that crawls inside your squash and it kills the plant. So I read that onions can help deter that. So I think I'm going to combine my onion plants in the same raised bed as my squash, because all of my squash is trellised on the cattle panels. So in the front of it, I think I'm just going to fill both sides up with onions and hopefully they'll do better. I am going to do a soil test this year just so I have an idea of what my soil is lacking or what it has too much of, so I can amend it and hopefully have a better success in my garden next year. But for now, onions have to be purchased from the store in bulk, but I know this is our first year, so everything's not going to go perfect, and I know even in many years things are still not going to go completely perfect, and we're just going to learn from them and change things up for next time. Here are the trays with the cut up zucchini and garlic and onions. I've got 3 sheet pans. I think I can fit all 3 of them in my oven. I sprayed them with the avocado spray and salt and pepper, and now I will bake them and we'll see how they turn out. It smells so good in this house right now. I have my oldest daughter still home. My youngest one started school today, but my oldest one doesn't start till tomorrow. And she even commented on how amazing the house smells. She said, "Mom, it smells like really good food." So I'm really excited about this. We'll let these cool and then we'll blend them up with some veggie stock and make our soup. I have transferred all of the zucchini and onions and garlic into this bowl. And I have some veggie stock here. And I'm just going to add a couple ladles full and then start blending with my immersion blender and see what happens. This all smells so good. I actually munched on some of the zucchini, as did my daughter Anna Elijah, and we all agreed it was just delicious. So let's see if this works. I mean, you could obviously use a regular blender for this as well. I just didn't want to do more dishes. I hate dishes so much. I love to cook. Cooking is something that I'm extremely passionate about. I love making good food, all of those things, but I detest cleaning and I hate doing dishes. So I'm going to try to use as minimal as possible, but it may mean more work for me right now. It smells so good. And there's already a lot of juice in here just from the zucchini as well. So I don't think I'm going to use all of the veggie stock that I have here. Don't mind the silly faces I make. I'm known for making weird faces and also chewing on my tongue all the time. I am constantly told by everybody or asked what's in my mouth. What's in your mouth? I have done this ever since I was a kid. It used to really bother me when people would bring it up, but now it's just, the more I'm concentrating, the more my tongue's gonna move around. It's like this weird thing I do. Ah. We're getting there. And I will say, this does not look appetizing, but according to my mom, when you defrost it and reheat it and then add some sour cream or creme fraiche or whatever creamy substance of your choice, you could probably use like coconut cream too. It's wonderful. That's fine. All right, let me just see what that looks like. So I don't want to make it too thin, but I definitely want to make sure I get all the chunks. So I'll bring this closer and show you. It doesn't look incredibly appetizing. And let's give it a taste and just see. Because I can add extra seasoning to it now if I need to as well before I freeze it. I mean, it tastes like zucchini and onions and garlic. It's pretty tasty. I might add just a little more of the veggie stock. Let's do another one of these. Maybe two. Let's do two. There we go. I'm gonna make a mess with this. Ah. All right. I think I'll probably add a little more salt to it. Just a little more salt. And also knowing I can change the seasoning up on this when I thaw it out and use it. Oh, that's perfect. That is delicious. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend that. I'm going to take a little bit of this out to Elijah because I want him to try it. Elijah is not a big soup person, so he wasn't completely sold when I told him I was making this, but I think he's going to love it. So let's go see what he says. Made it back out here where he's hard at work with the compost bins. But babe, I want you to try it.
What?
I want you to try the soup and tell me what you think.
What is it?
It's the soup I just made with the zucchini. Honest opinion from the guy who doesn't really like soup.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah?
That's delicious. What's in that?
Zucchini, garlic, onion, and veggie stock. Salt and pepper.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Clearly it was a hit.
That's delicious.
Awesome. And it's coming along out here. It looks much better than it did.
Yep.
It's such a gorgeous day too. I desperately just want to be out here and not inside. But I told myself I have to get all of the stuff done I need to inside first, and then I'll come back out here and I'll play in the garden. To freeze these, I am just using quart freezer bags. I'm not hugely excited about using plastic bags, but I do try to reuse them, and for space saving in the freezer this helps because I freeze them flat and then I can stand them all up. And using big containers, I don't have them, and also I don't have the space right now. But eventually I would like to find an alternative, but for now this is what I've got. And I am just doing 4 of these ladles full into each bag. I guess thinking that when we cook this up, there's 4 of us, and once we mix this with whatever cream base we want, whether it be, you know, dairy cream or coconut or anything like that, it will expand even further, and 1 bag should feed us for a meal, and I don't want to thaw out a huge thing of it if we're not going to use it all. So I'd rather make smaller and then have to use 2 of them if I needed to, versus thawing out like a whole gallon and only needing like a quart of it. So I always try to squeeze out as much of the air as possible. And I have a little bit left in here, and I'm just going to put that in a jar and leave it in the fridge, and we can munch on that as a snack. I really should have written on these before I filled them, but I forgot, which I tend to do. So I'll just write on them now with a Sharpie, and I like to write what they are and the date because I am forgetful, and I'll look in there and I'll be like, I don't know what that is. So this way, it's written on there, I know what it is, and I know when I froze it. And hopefully we'll use it all up, and I won't be sitting there 2 years later being like, what is this? But sometimes things can get lost in the freezer because chest freezers are sometimes hard to track everything. So this is what we'll do, and I'll freeze them laying flat like this. And then once they're solid, I can stand them up and I can organize my freezer more efficiently.